Hi, and welcome to week 2 of Design and Development of Educational Technology. Here inside MIT, it is a place of learning. Many of us have spent a lot of time as students, but even when we're done with formal schooling, we continue to learn throughout our lives. And yet, coming up with a definition of what we mean by learning isn't as simple as it seems. So what exactly do we mean by learning? Is it pouring knowledge into people's heads? Is it more like building a strong foundation? Or maybe learning is about bringing groups of students together to form webs of connected ideas. This is an activity I've done here at MIT on the first day of the year many times. Draw a picture of how you think about learning. It doesn't need to be literal. It can be just like a metaphor, like I mentioned, but then put that image aside and see how your metaphor changes over the next several weeks. There are lots of open questions about learning. So during this week, we'll take a stab at developing a shared definition of what learning is. Deep learning goes beyond simply memorizing facts and instead aims for using a rich body of knowledge and experiences to create a deeper understanding and to allow learners to develop intuitions. Getting there, developing this deep understanding, is what makes someone an expert. Learners, of course, begin as novices, but move toward a more sophisticated mastery of a topic, to that of an expert. So it's often helpful to think of learning as a process, moving gradually from novice to expert, rather than something that can be completed and checked off in one class period. Take, for example, expert chess players. How did they learn what they know? What makes them experts? A Dutch chess master and psychologist, Adrian de Groot, famously studied this phenomenon, looking at chess players ranging from amateurs to experts, seeking to understand what it means to gain expertise in something. As de Groot described it, good chess players develop a mental model, which is a belief about how a system in the world is built and how it works. Novices can only see what is on the board and plan ahead for the fate of a single piece, while experts evaluate the possible moves and assess the outcomes under many scenarios, often looking many moves ahead. They select from a large pool of possible moves they have used or seen in previous games. Over time, chess players develop the cognitive ability to evaluate a chessboard as well as build memories of sequences of moves known to be effective under particular conditions. So the question then is, how do you move someone from a novice to an expert? How do learners change and expand their mental models to, for instance, help them become better chess players, or writers, or cyclists? Now for another example, let's try something. It may seem silly, but just humor me. I'm the expert, at least at something, remember? I'm going to have you try juggling. See if you can find 3 balls somewhere in your house or wherever you are. If you don't have any lying around, 3 objects of relatively similar size and weight to a tennis ball should work. Maybe fruits or small toys like these, preferably nothing breakable unless you're already an expert. If you don't know how to juggle, just give it a try. If you do know how, try something more difficult like juggling 5 balls. Okay, once you have your objects, you're ready. Now you've seen people juggle before and you know what it is. So just do it. Ready? Go. Okay, I won't make you keep trying. Not right now, anyway. If you really did try juggling, how did it feel? Fun? Frustrating? Empowering? For many of you, this will have reminded you what it feels like to be a novice at something. You know what you want your end result to look like, but you were just thrown into the deep end there. You have a long road ahead of you, and you may not even know how to get there. With the right materials, some good instruction, and lots of practice, I'm sure you could become an expert juggler. The question is where to find those things, and how to match the right tools to your learning style. What are the best activities for learning juggling, and how do those vary? What we're grappling with this week is the flip side of your juggling experience. As designers of educational products, tools, and experiences, how do we best scaffold deep learning? What lessons can we learn from general frameworks and from specific projects? And how does technology fit into the equation? Can computers know what we do and don't understand, and then teach us what we need to know? This week, we'll explore these questions by talking to some experts who have thought a lot about these ideas and what our goals for learning and teaching should be. We'll start by looking at a framework that shows how we can support students' learning processes and evaluate their learning. Then, keeping that framework in mind, we'll look at two technologies: SimCalc, which helps students learn math, and intelligent tutoring systems, which can support a wide range of content areas. My goal for this week is for you to get a sense of what deep learning is and how deep learning differs from a simpler, more traditional definition of learning. I hope this week will spark some ideas about ways to better teach topics that you might be interested in. Let's go back to your juggling experience and your future circus career. I had you jump right into that without any guidance, or what we call scaffolding. Whether you felt frustrated or excited by your first try, it's very likely that if you continued to learn to juggle, your experience would change in some ways throughout the process. To understand the design of good learning technology, it's helpful to have some recent learning experiences to draw on. And juggling is something that you may be able to get better at in a short amount of time. So, I encourage you to take a computer break and keep practicing your juggling. We've provided some online resources on the course platform that will help you. These tutorials will help you build a mental model of how juggling really works, where the balls are supposed to go, and in what pattern. They'll provide expert tips and also encourage you to keep on practicing. As you do, check in with yourself every 5 minutes. What kind of progress are you making? How is your experience changing? What else do you think you might do to become a juggling expert? Aside from running away and joining the circus, of course.